It is Wednesday, and I haven't really recorded the last couple of days because Monday and Tuesday have been like super freaking busy for me with a bunch of papers and stuff and homework, so I haven't had a real chance to film. And currently, I've just left work and I'm going to class. So Monday I did end up reading a little bit of The Maze Runner since on Sunday I finished The Book Thief, and neither of my audiobooks have come in yet that I'm on hold for at the library back in my hometown. And so then today I haven't read much. Monday I read like 27 pages of the Maze Runner Death Gear in the Maze Runner series. I'm so frazzled I can't even think right. But yeah, today is not going to be much different. I have a meeting after my other shift at work today for French for a group project. And so that's depending on if one of my group members is feeling well enough, because apparently she stayed home with a cold. So it's all going to depend on whether she's feeling good or not. And then I'll probably be working on that. And then I have to work on 2 of my papers this week because one of them is due for a draft review tomorrow. And the other one I have to try to get done by next week. So I have to work on it a lot tonight, so probably won't be doing much reading. I haven't been doing much reading, but I did record 2 videos and edited them both last night. So those will be going up at some point today before the end of the day. And then I think that tomorrow I should be recording again. I don't remember. I don't think I am. I have like a whole list of stuff I have to do, but those 2 videos will be going up today. It is the book review for The Book Thief, and then I also have a Top 5 Wednesday because I decided to bring back Top 5 Wednesdays, which I'm really excited for because last semester, I started doing them, but it got really, really busy during the semester, and it was really hard for me to take the time to sit down during the week and record the video for it. Like, I recorded the Top 5 Wednesday on Monday and edited it yesterday to kind of space out my timing, and it's going up today on Wednesday. So yeah, that's kind of how things are going to go. I'm hoping that because it's the end of the semester, I can do the Top 5 Wednesdays a little bit more continuously so I can get used to a schedule with them, so that in the future, my last semester, I can probably start doing them more. So I'm very excited. I think the next semester my workload is going to be a little bit easier, I hope, because I do have some harder classes, but they're not as difficult as I think this semester has been, which I'm very excited for. So I don't know. It's all going to depend, but I'm hoping that it's going to all end up turning out well. It is currently 10 to 8 right now in the evening, still on Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Jeez, oh Pete. I thought it was Tuesday for a second. But so I just finished working on a part of my paper that I'm actually really proud of. I'm really proud of how this paper I have is turning out. And I have 2 that I'm working on currently. I have one that is for my modern and contemporary literature class, which is dealing with mystery fiction. And I'm really, really liking it. I think that it's turning out to be really good. And Then I have another paper that's for my capstone class, which is focusing on violence and affects that, or kind of emotional responses that come from violence that are portrayed in The Fairy Queen and The Hate List by Jennifer Brown, because although I didn't read The Hate List particularly, I do know that there is a lot that can be said in terms of the representation of those that are shooters, that are those that are bullied, because a lot of the violence that I talk about is for adolescents that are bullied and or have suffered some kind of trauma that induces their violence. So I believe that Guyan, one of the characters from The Fairy Queen, if you've read it, is a victim of some kind of violence, and so he kind of has to keep himself in check when it comes to his own aggression so that he does not lash out and then induce violence, which he ends up doing. Spoiler alert. I mean, I don't know how many of you are going to read this piece of 500-year-old literature, but that's kind of my basis for my paper, essentially. And it's kind of a comparative study to see if these affects do come up in each character and whether or not they then are likely to induce violence because of their past and the way that they kind of are reacting and the kinds of affects that they are associated with based on situations and things of that nature. So I feel like it's a really good paper. That one, though, is a little harder for me to work with, but I have a draft of it going in tomorrow, and which I have to remind myself now to print off because I need to turn that in tomorrow for peer review, basically. And yeah, so I just also uploaded The Book Thief by Marcus Cusack, which I didn't cross off my list, which I'm going to right now. And today, as far as reading, I did a little bit of reading today. I read about 22 pages more of The Death Cure, and I have only one more thing. I have a couple things left to do. I just have to read the short stories for my class, which I have right here, and then I have to read a story that we have to discuss in class tomorrow, that's a part of that anthology that I showed you guys before, I think, maybe, I don't know, and then I'm done. So then it's going to be basically me. I'm going to write up the blog post for this week's Top 5 Wednesday and get that video uploaded as well, just so I can get those done. And then the rest of the night I think is going to be dedicated to me just reading. I'm really happy. Like, I've been noticing that I don't really want to watch YouTube videos much anymore, and I think that's partially because this week especially I'm very tired and I just want to sleep, but I feel good enough today that I want to sit and read for a while if I can tonight. So that probably will happen at like 9 o'clock or so, because it's almost 8 now and I still have to do some other stuff. So I think by like 9:30 I can sit and read for like an hour and a half before bed, and that might tire me out, which will be great. That way I can sleep through the night. But I'm just realizing that I'm getting a headache, and that's because I haven't eaten anything really for dinner. I had a little bit of a snack after lunch today during my shift, but I think that my body is trying to tell me, you need more, you need sustenance, we need some food in us. So because what I all had for lunch was a thing of microwavable mac and cheese, and then I had like one of those like little P3 like protein pack things that has like nuts and cheese and like lunch meat involved in it, and then like pudding and a cup of fruit, and that's basically been all I've ate today, which isn't really much if you really take a look at like what it all consists of. So I think I'm going to order some food, something just to get me through the night. I think I'll just order like McDonald's, because I've worked 3 nights in a row on these papers, and I think I've made so much progress with the one that I deserve something good for myself, something that's going to make me happy, which is nugs, and I want nugs. So I might do that. I don't know if I want to get McDonald's or Wendy's. Ooh, Wendy's sounds really good. Hello everyone, it is Thursday. It is currently just after 5 o'clock in the evening, and I wanted to pop on to say that first, I finally got a copy of An Ember in the Ashes. I just downloaded that audiobook, so now I have a new audiobook on my phone, and last night I ended up getting through 88 pages of The Death Cure, so it was pretty good. I'm actually enjoying it more so than I had anticipated, because I know that James Dashner is not a really popular person at the moment, considering some events that happened incorporating him. However, I'm always a big advocate for separating the artist from the art, or the author from the book, if that makes any sense to you. Basically, if you're not quite familiar with what that phrasing means, it basically means that you can enjoy the piece without actually really appreciating the person that wrote it. You can appreciate the story for what it is apart from the actual person that created it. I think that there's a lot of very intense scenes in this story, but it's definitely not my favorite. I'm kind of at a point I'm at this point like a 3-star with it. Like, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's like, I don't know. And I feel like it's been such a long time since reading the Scourge Trials that I totally forget a lot of what's happened. But thankfully this book has actually been able to kind of remind you as you go, like, some things that kind of happen. But I don't know. I'm kind of iffy with it at the moment. I'm enjoying it at the time, but at the moment it's sitting at a 3-star for me. And I think I'm about halfway done with it at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I am home now, still in my jacket. I just basically got home and realized I had the audiobook in my library, so I thought I'd pop on super quick. I do have quite a bit of homework to do tonight, so I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done. I'm definitely not going to listen to the audiobook until at least tonight when I get back, because I don't want to be distracted by my homework while trying to listen to the audiobook. I feel like I already have hard enough time, as I explained in my Book Thief review, that I have a hard enough time with listening to audiobooks by themselves, regardless of doing meaningless tasks. But trying to do that and work on my 2 papers is not going to be easy. So I may even push off some stuff until this weekend, because I've been dealing with a headache off and on all day, and I kind of just want to lay in bed. And honestly, any of the work I can get done for these papers can get done over the weekend, because I plan on working over the weekend anyway. So that's not really anything I can't do this weekend. So I'm going to probably figure that out, but I'll let you guys know whether or not I make that decision in like the next 10 minutes, basically, in my time, like second for you guys, basically. So I shall return in 1 moment. Okay, so that took me all of like 15 seconds to do. So basically the only things I am going to do tonight in terms of work is not even really work, it's like videos. I'm going to record 2 vocal covers tonight that you guys will be seeing in the next couple of weeks. One should be going up this Saturday, and then the next one will go up next Saturday. And I basically wanted to pre-record the one for next Saturday, because I don't want to have to worry about taking the time out of my studying to record it. So that's kind of my thought process with it. So I'm going to quickly go record those 2 videos and then probably go get something to eat for dinner, because I'm getting kind of hungry, but I can hold out for like another like 20-30 minutes or so until I finish recording these videos. Okay, I just recorded both of the vocal covers for the next couple of weeks, and I am going to head down to eat some food now. I think there's pancakes downstairs, and I really want some freaking pancakes. So I'm going to go eat and probably start listening to An Ember in the Ashes a little bit. I probably won't get very far into it before I come back upstairs to read more of The Death Cure. But I am going to listen to as much as I really can, and then maybe later tonight as I'm packing up my stuff, I can listen to more of it. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. I am feeling like I want to watch a movie though, so maybe I'll watch a movie before reading. I think I will. I think I'm going to watch The Mummy again, because I'm obsessed with that movie and I can't ever like not watch it because it makes me happy. It's my happy movie and I'm in a good mood, so I want to continue to be in a good mood and watch my movie. So I think I might do that then, is watch it and make myself super happy and then read, because if I'm in a very, very good mood, I'm going to want to read. And plus I just haven't seen the movie in like a week, so I'm kind of going through withdrawals. So I'm going to go eat. So I went down to eat at like 6 o'clock and then got back up here like 20 minutes later, and have since spent the last 40 some minutes scrolling on my phone through like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. And I'm just, I don't know. I'm not sad or anything, but I definitely feel like my energy has dissipated since food. I think it's because I'm going into a bit of a food coma because I had a lot to eat. But I did listen to 22 minutes of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm only like 3 chapters in at this point, but into the audiobook basically, but I like what I have so far of it. It's interesting. I'm kind of not really set in the world just yet. I'm not really able to see kind of how the world is at this point, but I can tell that it's very, very different. It is very much a high fantasy sounding story so far. So far, I'm liking the dilemmas that we are given with both of the main characters of Laia and Elias, which I've heard a lot of things are happening in Reaper, the third book in the series, in I think it's called Reaper at the Gates. And I've heard that there's a lot that's going to be going on with Elias, so I really want to try to read these two books in the near future so that I can read Reaper when it comes out, because I think it's supposed to come out within the next couple of months. I want to say it's coming out in like May or June, but I'm not quite sure. I know it's coming out like in the early summer, so I'm pretty excited for it. So I hope I can get to this through An Ember in the Ashes and like it enough to where I want to read A Torch Against the Night so that I can read Reaper at the Gates. And I'm just not quite sure at this point. I mean, I'm only a couple chapters in, so I don't really know how I feel about it, but I'm liking the dilemmas so far. I think that they're interesting dilemmas and ones that I haven't really seen often in high fantasy. I've seen the idea of Elias being a kind of runaway from his prior like regard, like basically like he's a character who is fleeing the military that he works for because of something. I've seen that kind of before, but not really often, so I'm excited to see this. And then the story of Laia and her brother Darren is kind of like they are both children that lost their parents due to the marshals, who are like the military that run this like world. They killed their parents. The marshals killed their parents, and they live with their grandparents. But now they're having to flee again. And Darren is supposed to get like captured based on the synopsis. He's supposed to be held for treason, and Laia is supposed to kind of infiltrate the army to essentially try to free him and become. I don't think an assassin, but she's supposed to kind of train herself really, which I'm excited for. I love stories of physically weak characters going through training and becoming stronger physically. I really love stories like that for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably one of my favorite tropes. I don't know. I think it's just the progression and seeing the progression of strength physically, and then along with that, the mental strength that kind of comes with it. So I don't know. I mean, so far it's not too bad. I'm enjoying the voice acting, the narration of the two people we have. It definitely places me in a kind of European setting as far as the high fantasy world, like it's in England or a portion of England. And based on the dialect, but the language of the story, it seems very much like that, very proper. I think I'm going to put in the movie now. I'm thinking I'm going to get into some pajamas. Although these pants that I'm wearing are actually like my favorite pants because they're super comfy, so I might not. And I think I'm going to curl up and watch The Mummy and then maybe try to read some of The Death Cure tonight if I can. We'll see. Hi guys, so it's 9:20 in the evening now, and I just finished watching my movie, except I didn't really watch it. I was, for the first half of the movie, filling out the May spread for my bullet journal, basically just outlining everything in pencil that I had as far as design, ideas, and things like that for each of the pages for my spread for May. And then at the end of April into May, I will be going through and actually fully darkening everything, which if you guys would like to see a video of that, let me know down below, and I would love to make a video of it because I've seen so many people make bullet journal videos and they're so fun, and I like being able to see everyone's spreads, and I've taken a lot of inspiration from people for their spreads, and I have some very personal ones that not personal like where I wouldn't share it, but I do have some personal pieces in there that may help you guys get to know me a little bit in terms of what I do kind of in my off time and things like that, or things that I aspire for, things like that. So that's kind of that. I was doing that for half the movie. Then the other half, I kind of had a lot that was running through my head. I decided to clean off my desk, basically, organizing some of my stuff, and cleaning off one of my desks and taking care of things. And then I decided from that I would take the stuff that I'm taking home this weekend and putting it in the bin I have here, so that's ready for tomorrow when I go home, and basically helping me with moving out and stuff. And then I decided that because I needed to figure out
out my schedule for everything. Like, I had to kind of configure all my homework stuff for the weekend and over the next several weeks, for the next couple of weeks, I should say, because next week is my last week of classes, and there are some things I still need to work on, so I had to, like, figure all that stuff out with videos and reading and stuff like that, because I'm going to try to finish all my books by the end of the month. Like I said, I got Ember in the Ashes today. I plan on finishing that by the end of next week, and by, like, next week, the end of next weekend, and finishing also Beautiful Darkness by then. I plan on finishing The Maze Runner tomorrow, because I'm spending tomorrow basically just reading when I am not at work and class. Like, I don't plan on doing anything tomorrow other than reading and hanging out with Robert for a little bit on Friday, because he is going to come home for a short time before going back up to school, because he's got a lot that's going on this weekend at school and he couldn't afford to stay at home for very long. But yeah, so basically I've just been running around doing a lot of stuff and wasn't ever really watching my movie. So I got to, like, the very end of it, and then I realized, holy crap, I'm still in the middle of other stuff and I didn't watch my movie. So I'm basically pulling something that I did last week when I watched this movie, my favorite movie of all time, if you guys haven't noticed by how much I watched it last week, 4 times, twice in one day, and I'm going to watch it twice again today, because it was the same thing as, like, last time I watched it twice in a day. I watched it and it became background noise for me, and then I finished the movie and I was like, I didn't watch any of that. Now I actually want to watch it. So that's kind of where I'm at with this movie now. And I just don't feel like really reading, because I'm at that kind of tired moment where I know that if I start reading The Death Cure, I am either going to lose focus almost immediately and or fall asleep. And that is not what I want. I do not want to fall asleep at this moment. I really don't want to fall asleep to The Death Cure, especially because there is a lot that's going on at the moment. But I haven't picked it up since. So I just really want to make sure that I focus my time on it tomorrow, and finish it, because I think, like I said, I'm, like, over halfway done with it. It's in my backpack. Let me see if I can grab it. Oh, but yeah, that's kind of my plan for tonight, is watching the movie again and then just basically going to bed and stuff. So yeah, I'm about halfway through. I'm almost halfway through it, which is really good. So, and it's a fairly fast-paced novel, and the chapters are really short that you kind of fly through them all, which is really, really nice. I feel like that helps me get through a book a lot faster, is knowing that they're short chapters and that it's kind of easier to fly through. And since I'm going to have a little bit of time between my class and the time I go home, since everything's pretty much packed, except my duffel bag, which I'll pack tomorrow when I get back, pretty much I think I'm going to sit and watch, or not watch, I'm going to read a little while, and then maybe even read some more when I get home, and basically be able to finish Maze Runner, record the video this weekend at home, and basically just do that. So, and then on top of all that, you know, working on my class stuff and papers and all that stuff. So it's all kind of just crazy. This weekend's going to be really interesting, to say the least. Like, I can't guarantee much, but it's gonna be interesting. Hello everyone, it is after 8:15 in the evening on Friday, and obviously I am home now. I've been home for a little bit more than an hour, I think, and we brought home a lot of my stuff from campus this week, because since I'm not coming home next weekend, I wanted to try to get some of the bigger stuff out of my room that I did not need, to kind of just make things easier for me when I actually do move out in a couple of weeks. So today so far I have listened to 2 hours and 24 minutes of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm only, like, on the 9th chapter at this point. But it's really interesting so far. I am enjoying it immensely at the moment. I am really interested to see kind of how the story develops, because there's just a lot it's very intense. It's very intense from the very beginning and continues to be so throughout the book, which I like. But I kind of am hoping for a bit of a lull period at the moment, just because everything kind of seems so dire, and I'm waiting for, like, a little bit of a breather. But if we don't get a breather at all in this book, I think I'm going to be okay with it, because I've not had a book, especially a high fantasy book, that I've read that has been this, not dramatic in a sense, but kind of just really intensified with the, you know, the plot and everything. And the plot itself is very, you know, interesting. I think what I'm going to do is, because I still need to unpack my stuff, I need to make sure that I get these bins unpacked before Sunday, and I'm babysitting tomorrow night, because I didn't realize I was going to have babysit tomorrow, but I am. I need to try to get this stuff unpacked now so that I don't have to worry about it. And I just gotta make sure, like, I have a good plan for tomorrow, because I have to go get my nails done at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and then I have until 5 o'clock to get as much work as I can done before I go babysit, which I think I can get the majority of my work done, I think, if I really, really put my heart and soul into it and don't take a lot of breaks. So it's going to depend. Hello everyone, it is 10:30 now, and I think I'm going to call it on this week's vlog, because I'm trying to get through more of The Death Cure, and I don't know, like, I read a good chunk of it, but I'm just not as invested in it as I want to be, and I don't know. I don't think that it's because I'm stuck on the fact that it's a James Dashner book. I think I'm more stuck on it because I kind of feel like this series was bled out a little bit more than it should have been. I don't feel like there's really a lot that is keeping me invested in it. Like, I'm basically just not as into it as I wanted to be. And unfortunately, that kind of means I'm going to be DNFing this book, which, I don't know. I always kind of had a weird thing about The Maze Runner, and I had given my ratings of both that and The Scorched Trials very high reviews. But looking back on them, I'm not as impressed with them as I was. I just don't think that The Death Cure really grips me as much as the first two books did. I think that things are a lot less dire in this one as opposed to the other two. I don't feel like there's much at stakes anymore. I mean, it seems like there is in reality, like in the story, but I don't feel that as a reader. I don't feel like there's really any stakes involved, and it's kind of been making it hard for me to get through it. Like, it's a fast-paced novel. The chapters are really short, and so you fly through the book, but I feel like I'm not super invested in these characters anymore. I don't feel like I'm really invested in Thomas, and there's just kind of so much that is thrown at us in this book that is a little overwhelming, because everyone is lying to each other, which is interesting in one aspect, but I don't know. I just don't know where I quite stand with it. So I'm going to be DNFing this book. I'm not going to review it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week. I know it wasn't a whole lot of clips. Honestly, they were longer clips, but there weren't many. This week was kind of a little bit more crazy than I had expected, but because finals are coming up a lot quicker, it's going to be really tough for me, like I said last week. Next week, I think was going to be a little bit more lenient in terms of my filming abilities, because I'm working tomorrow on the majority of my videos, which is why I am ending this week here, because tomorrow I'm going to be so busy that I am not going to have really any time to film. So basically the rest of the night is going to be me. I'm going to be editing the next cover video, which you guys will have seen already. So anyway, that's it for me. I will talk to all you guys next week. Bye.